You're just wanting to speak on the B.B. Comm Bridge Foundation project.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, Lally just went outside. She was coughing. But my name is Julie Bowers, and I am from Iowa. I am the executive director of the North Skunk River Greenbelt Association and Working Bridges, which is a consultant and contractor for historic bridges. We are very grateful for your support so far, and I think that we did a pretty great job in getting no-nos in the last 2 trips that I've been down here. Not only did we get no-nos, we also got, and I know you're aware, that ALDOT has said that the demolition line item in their contract need not be eliminated. It can be used for repurposing your B.B. Comm Bridge. It's not mine, but it's a beautiful bridge. I have put together a presentation for the City Council this evening. We are speaking, because of the B.B. Comm Bridge, we are speaking at the 57th Annual Transportation Conference next week in Montgomery, where we are speaking on historic bridges, not your Comm Bridge. But it's a good thing. Because of these connections that I've been making, I was looking for a restaurant to hub your B.B. Comm Bridge area. And I was advised by a realtor broker to go higher than just the locals, that we reached out. So I think we talked to everybody, and where I'm from, it's good to talk to everybody so that people don't talk and get their own opinions. So we went straight to everybody. So I went straight to the head of economic development for the state of Alabama, who is more industrial based, but said, well, you've got a great guy in Dust Rogers. And I said, I spoke to Dust Rogers. And we, we believe that the B.B. Comm Bridge is not a liability, that it is an asset to your community. And when I spoke to this man, I was trying to look for his name. I've met a lot of people recently. Mr. Lambert or
Canfield, are you talking head of the
oh,
state?
It was the director of the industrial side of economic development. I could find it in an email. He is setting up a meeting next week with Made in Alabama, with the Alabama TV and Film Commission, with any other interested parties in order to see if they can't help provide this vision. Now, to me, that's very exciting, because what it means is that I think this is a gateway to your state. Quite frankly, you come down from Chattanooga, and did I say that right? I'm sorry. Chattanooga. It's better, isn't it? Slow it down to get it right. That this could be, wouldn't it be great if it was a state park? My vision for it is that we can bring in, we can satisfy all of ALDOT's requirements. We can bring jobs. I spoke to J.P. Parsons. I'm saying, maybe 75 jobs in a resort. It's a destination place. He's going, I think double. So already people are starting to look at this as jobs. I don't look at the maintenance as the biggest problem. I look at it as jobs. It's no longer crisis maintenance. It's no longer ALDOT style, get them in, get them out, spend a lot of money in mobilizing to do it. So we look at it as just work, and we'll get it back up to speed. We need your help. My nonprofit gave $150 to, because we have some projects now, we gave $150 to the Comm Bridge Foundation, although they didn't need it to make their matching funds requirement to you. So I presented that to them last night. And they have paid out of their donations for my travel this week. I couldn't wait any longer. I had an appointment for the City Council tonight. I have an appointment with ALDOT this afternoon. So in our world, the B.B. Comm project needs to get to memorandum of agreements and understanding very soon. Otherwise, HRI, they need to get started on their demo. 90 days they have to demolish that bridge once it's completed. And I can tell you that the Coast Guard has already drafted paperwork that is ready to go in to change that 90-day demolition clause in their contracts. So at every stage, we have people that, I know people don't want to say no to me because they don't want the no to be on them. The city doesn't want the no to be them. ALDOT doesn't want the no to be them. They want me to fail. and the Comm Bridge Foundation, because that would make it a lot easier. But I didn't come down here to fail. I think this bridge needs to stay right where it is. It's just such a great structure, and it gives a, you know, everybody has concrete spans. Nobody else on this river has a bridge like this anymore. You can see pictures of them when you go to the top of the river. But we have everybody excited. So we wish that you would provide the other funds that were asked for previously in December, and based on the fact that the Comm Bridge Foundation did come up with their matching funds, I would take a 20% less on their request, just to comply with where you're going now, because we have a lot of work to do. But we're not coming back. Once we get these agreements and we go forward and decide what the plan is, whether it would be an authority, and Senator McGill, I really want to talk to you about an authority for managing this project, because it's much bigger than my group, although we're willing to take it on with a $50,000 donation, and to be able to use a portion of the ALDOT funds to remain in trust while we go through the other process. If we keep the $500,000 in a trust fund, in 10 years that grows to the $1 million that they would like. We can use interest off those funds to go towards transportation enhancement funding that would be available to finish the bike trail on the opposite side. If anybody wants to see my presentation, I can tell you kind of where I went with it. I didn't want to go too far because I'm not from here. But so I went with an old school kind of boardwalk on the section side, and we have a beautiful 1883 Whipple Trust that the state of Pennsylvania is willing to see leave their state in order to save it, sort of an adopt a bridge program. It's one of the early bridges, and it's very ornate, and it would fit perfectly across the slough. We are very careful with not trying to mess with the water board here, and no docks, none of that, although we would need a dock for security, much where the construction dock is right now, that sort of thing. So we've built it up into a real destination. For my purposes, everything is mobile. All the vendors are mobile. If there's a restaurant that eventually goes into that Dock Street area, terrific. But before that, it's grassroots style, unless economic development comes in and starts matching those funds. But we got $1,438,000 from ALDOT demolition fund from HRI. My confusion is that the previous contractor also had $860,000 in demolition, and I don't know if they add those two together in order to perhaps bring up to $2.4 million. So we brought some money back to your area. We have, and we're very grateful for your support, and would like to be able to show you the presentation, what we think it can be. Again, I'll be at the City Council tonight. I can meet with anybody individually. We'll be back next week after the conference to continue, because I would really like these memorandum and agreements done by the end of March. If we
And we appreciate the work you guys are putting forth in doing this.
And I didn't stop working while we were waiting for this money, or I wouldn't have been prepared. So I just want you to know that.
Okay.
Will tonight's presentation, is there going to be, I know it may be recorded by the power board and others, but will you have anything to put online from that presentation so that the community can see?
I hope so. I've been trying to. It's pretty big. So if I can eliminate, we had a photographer, I don't know if you know, David Kammerer. He has a copter with a GoPro on it, I think. And he was going out to shoot photos for me other than what he had sent me previously, and his copter went down in the river. So
Really?
after he had been given permission by HRI, and it had plenty of power and everything was fine, and he told it to come home with 51% power, and it just kept going. He turned it off with the fail-safe thing that's supposed to bring it back, and it went. So I personally felt horrible about that, but he is regrouped and he will not be flying over the river anymore. So, just stuff that goes on.
Some of you guys seeking re-election in the future may want your picture taken on the bridge up there as some campaign with.
Well, and who would like to go to a meeting in Montgomery next week? with Made in Alabama. I don't think this is just me representing your community or your region. I don't know if you'll be down in the Capitol next week or not.
This week,
It would be next week.
yeah. Okay, next week is
So, and I don't know when the meeting is. I'm waiting for him to get back to me with
okay.
pulling everything together.
Ms. Byrne?
Yes.
I understand the big picture, I think, you know, what's trying to be accomplished, but on your request, can you address just exactly what that $3,500 is for?
Well, some of it is for the countless hours that I've put in to date. Another 2,000 is to get all of the information so that we can get a better bid on the bridge in Pennsylvania. But we don't need to go there unless we're going forward. So that's where it's going. It's going towards the work that I've done. It's going towards our engineers and trying to make it work forward. You know, I live pretty frugally, and I would work for nothing if I could. But it costs a lot to come down here, and that's what the Comer Bridge Foundation has paid for. But they haven't paid for my time putting together the presentation or the phone calls or any of those things that we have done. But we would like to see this bridge saved. We would like to be a part of it, although we're not tied to the outcome of ownership. We're prepared to be the owner if we need to be. We think it would be better if it was owned by the region in an authority where the income is coming back to you all.
By the county commission, right?
Yeah, that's right. Just by the county, not the city, not the region, not the state. I actually think it could be a state park. You know.
How much money does the Common Bridge have in donations now?
I believe they have nearly $3,000 since the last time they came in. And that was just in the last 6 weeks that they raised.
They haven't give you any for your expenses over that?
They did pay me for my travel to come down here.
Any other questions? Well, at this time, a different amount.
Would that not come to our next meeting based on the previous thing?
Would we have this as previous business or old or new business?
Under new business.
Okay, we do have a new business category, but I know the gentleman spoke on it last week, and so in consideration to him, do we want to consider this new business or old business?
I'd kind of like to see the presentation or get some information from the presentation tonight.
And that's
allow
tonight.
other folks.
What time
I
is
could do this presentation right now if you have the time.
we have an allotted for that time?
Or over lunch or at any
We
point.
appreciate that. We have an allotted for that time in this meeting, but I would ask you what time is the presentation tonight?
I'm on the agenda, the meeting starts at 6, that's all I know.
Okay, well, great.
And they gave me 5 minutes, so.
Well, as we do have this on our paperwork here in the new business categories, and
But it's not really new business if it was old business, isn't it? I mean, it's old business as to last year, and it's also old business as to last week.
true.
And as I said, do you have your calculator there, Mr. Hodges?
Yes,
What would 20% less of 3,500 be?
2,800.
I can live with that, if that would.
Do I hear a motion from the committee?
I don't think it would be healthy for us right now, in the financial condition that we are, to expend any more funds at this time until personal donations and everything is exhausted with this program.
They're
It's just,
exhausted.
But I think the community, if they need to get behind it, using these tax dollars, is just not the right thing to do.
I'll make a motion too, that, like the chairman said, he wants to see the presentation this afternoon, so let him, which I'm not gonna be able to, but let the chairman go look at it, then he can enlighten us some more on that, so I'll make a motion that we treat this as new business.
Or just carry it over
And
till
carry it
the
over.
next meeting?
Yes.
I just could say that the presentation was then all done on free time. Is that the deal? Is that I went ahead and did all this work without,
Well, who hired you? I mean, we didn't hire
we
you.
are in a collaboration with the Comm Bridge Foundation. And we had, because of the holidays and the way that, your meetings were scheduled in the past month, they weren't able to come in sooner.
Right.
So now it got pushed to the point where I have had this appointment with the city for weeks, hoping that they had already come and been able to get you all to vote on that. But it was my understanding that it was sort of a carrot thing. Hey, you do this part, we did that part, we came back with $1.5 million. And,
In our first discussions, our early discussions, the funding that we receive in this office is referred to as TVA and lieu tax money. And we never know what that amount will be.
right,
And unfortunately, over the last few years, it has gone down. And so, as you can see, this earlier, our vote was to cut again an additional 20%.
I'm aware.
Last year, they were cut 25%, and then additional 20%. So they're close to 50% in reduction. And so we have to take that in consideration. New projects as opposed
Well, we won't
to.
be coming back to your board again for money. Once we have the success that I feel we will have, we'll be working with the monies that come from ALDOT and then our ability to raise funds through other granting mechanisms. We also have TVA who has said that they would deal with any administrative costs for our permitting requirements. So we've worked at every level to bring the benefit back to this county.
Well, and speaking to the committee, my encouragement would be this, is that the BB Coleman Bridge project, I'll remind you that I have over 3,000 signatures in my office pledging to, asking for our support of the project. And thus far, I think we've invested $3,500 of taxpayers' money. That's not very much divided out among 3,000 people. And so I would say, my opinion would be that 3,500 plus an additional 2,800 would not be an exorbitant amount for this committee to invest in saving the bridge project. And I would hate for it to fail because of $2,800. And the thing that is going to keep it from failing is going to be the lack of effort. And so I appreciate these folks' effort. But at this time, what I asked the representative to restate his motion, if he would consider a motion of, yes, carrying it over to the next meeting, but that we will vote up or down $2,800.
Is that what your motion was?
That's my motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second to carry this request over till next meeting, but we will be voting up or down $2,800. All in favor, say aye. Any nays? Well, ma'am, I thank you for your time, and I know you may be disappointed in the outcome today, but I assure you we will vote this matter up or down for $2,800 in call meeting.
Well, I am disappointed, I gotta tell you, because of all the work that has been done by the locals, more than just me. But I'm not gonna let this project fail, so, and I hope that I can have your support in a meeting. I've been requesting some time from you, because I think that you could be our biggest supporter for establishing an authority through the legislature, if you would be so kind.
I would be more than happy to meet with you. Understand that we are in session now, and it's more difficult.
Well, I will be in Montgomery, so perhaps we could
Absolutely.